legislature are refusing to back him, raising a question, how he'll govern. Why? Because of the picture on your screen right now. His ugly, bigoted photo, which now he denies he was in. He doesn't know how it got in his yearbook. My next guest is Carla Savage Wells. She's the governor's childhood friend. She campaigned for him when she ran for governor. She has a case for him and what she thinks should happen. Listen. All right, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
So I just heard one of my colleagues use the term onslaught about Governor Northam. There's too much, keeps piling up. There's another picture, an ugly nickname. There's a description of one of the people who helped make the medical school yearbook, that you had to submit the pictures for your personal page. There's no other explanation. Do you agree with that idea, that it's an onslaught? It's too much for him to carry. He must go.
Ralph's a strong person, but no, he must not go, and only he knows what's too much. You've had so many people to say that they've not seen a racist bone in his body, and I can attest to that from 1972. I agree with the honor in Ralph that says, if I quit now, I'm a racist for life. And I think it's that same kind of commitment that made him come out to apologize.
Right, I hear you about that. I mean, medical school is different. Unfortunately, you now have different things to deal with. You have a picture of him at VMI, where he was undergrad, where he had this ugly nickname, Blank Man. No reason for us to say it. People will have heard it plenty.
No.
But it speaks to somebody who doesn't like blacks. And you're saying completely inaccurate. That's not who he is. Fine.
Completely inaccurate.
Then you have the picture in medical school where he is either in blackface or wearing the KKK hood. We still don't have straight talk. Now, that's his problem, Carla. His past aside, do you think he's handled this the right way? I still don't know if he's in that picture, which one he is, and why it exists at all. I know he can moon dance. Moon dance. Listen to how old I am. I know he can moonwalk. I know that he loves Michael Jackson. I know what he thinks about shoe polish. I know that he was going to moonwalk unless his wife told him not to. He hasn't handled this in a way that seems to reinforce the points you're making now. Is that part of the problem here?
I would say it is part of the problem, but I would say this. I would say that he was so horrified in seeing that picture. This is my take on it. That he felt compelled to apologize for whatever actions he may have had as a child. And we know that 25 is not 18. But anybody that's 45 and has a mortgage knows that 25 is not grown.
I hear you, but you got to own it.
I'm going to say this.
You got to own it, though, Carla. That's
Yes.
the problem with an apology, is that, look, I put the picture on the yearbook. He created mystery around it. We now know what's the chance that there was mystery. We all know how yearbooks work.
He did not. I don't think he said he put the picture on the yearbook. I don't think that
But I'm
was what he
saying,
said.
I know, but how is that not the case? That's how it works with a yearbook page. You give them the pictures you want on your yearbook page, they put it on. He didn't just come out and own it and say, look, this isn't who I am. I'm who Carla says I am. I've known her most of my adult life, long before that, actually. And I put that picture there. It was stupid. This is the person I am in the picture. Here's what was going on at the time. It's not who I am now. That's how you own it.
Chris, there are 607 people listed in the doctoral program currently at EVMS. How many could there have been in '84? How credible is a student-run newspaper that nobody in the faculty knew was being published, that wasn't supervised? How many copies could there have been at that time? I'm just saying the credibility of the or the accuracy of that news source. You want to talk about a fake yearbook, or the accuracy of that news source, the fact that he didn't purchase one. We don't know how many people have been mislabeled in a yearbook. You think about that.
I give you that. And a right-wing blog brought this up that was evidently motivated by what the governor had said about certain reproductive laws that are coming out, abortion laws that are coming out. They didn't like it. Arguably, they started looking for things. Fine. But if that's the case, then isn't the natural reaction, I don't know what that picture is. I don't know how it got on that page. I don't even know if that's the real page. I don't even have my yearbook. But I've never been in a picture like that before, so I don't know what the hell is going on here. That would be owning it, too. The governor didn't say that either.
governor did was took ownership of a picture that had his name as a prominent heading. He took ownership of, as the governor, he felt compelled to address that. This is a gentleman that was a member of the Honor Society of one of our military institutions. He felt compelled to speak to the citizens of Virginia, to that image. But looking at that for the first time, I can't imagine how gobsmacked he must have been, just as I was, disgusted. Thinking it was photoshopped is what I thought, and who knows what he thought seeing it the first time. Who knows what went through his mind? I don't.
You don't think he saw that picture before?
The person I know, if Ralph says he didn't see it before, he didn't see it before.
I understand what you're saying, that people who know him support him, but can he stay in office if the electeds around him in his state and on the national level don't want him there?
Well, let's put it this way. How many people, how many politicians have polarized factions of their constituents or their constituents? How many people are still serving and opinions are polarized about them at the highest levels of government, and they are still effective? How long is this news cycle going to go? The good that I know my friend is capable of doing, the good that he's done for the Commonwealth to date, is going to win itself out if he's allowed to continue as governor. So
I get the reference,
Ralph
but their
is
own
strong,
aren't turning against them. That's the difference. I understand the illusion that you're making. I get it, but they're not calling for him to step down the way they are with the governor. Let me ask you this, because you've made a very zealous defense. To African-American people, whether they're elected or not, and they say, I'm not having this. We have to be better than this. The people who are in office can't be stained by this type of behavior. What do you say to them?
I would distance myself if I had future aspirations in politics. I would distance myself from this as well. That is what African Americans, not that I can speak for all African Americans, that's what anybody should do with an image like this, presented to them like this. I would distance myself from it as well. Ralph Northam is not the person that is depicted in the photograph that's on his page. If Ralph tells me he's not in that picture, I believe him.
Thank you very much, Carla. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Got to have different perspectives to feed what's going on, what looked like an inevitable result. We'll have to see what the governor does now. Now, tomorrow night, very big night for the president.